The first is going to be Furry Apocalypse.
Attention heretic, one or more third-party individuals have reported one or more of your actions as being inappropriate. We appreciate your understanding.
The last time I ever reacted to something that this guy posted, I wound up nuking him. I'm glad to see that you're better. Okay, quick update before we watch this, and this is Stories Time with Nostalgia Chant, the greatest of them all. Warhams is going to be episode 1 probably tomorrow. I will most likely have the time to do that tomorrow. It's going to be a very long episode, but we'll see what we can do. I will also be attempting to put out the lore video for the Damocles Golf Crusade. Everything else, I'm gonna have to start making a list again. I'll just check my comments and go by dates and see what I can get done. All right, so the greatest of them all. Here we go.
This shit is so surreal. Am I on drugs?
After a savage duel, it cut me deeply. No foe had ever done that before. And with blood filling my mouth, I fell. I, Kato Sicarius, Master of the Watch, Knight Champion of Macragge, Grand Duke of Talisar, and High Suzerain of Ultramar, fell. Or so my foe believed. In truth, I, Kato Sicarius, allowed the Undying to strike me down in order to feign defeat that he might lower his defense, and I, Kato Sicarius, may pierce his evil metal hide with the greatest of all weapons, my beloved Talisarian Tempest Blade. Dear Agrippin came bolting over to help, but there was no need, for I, Kato Sicarius, had already begun to heal from such a paltry wound. More Necrons came to challenge. I, Kato Sicarius, leapt at my first new foe, crushing him.
This is just... You have made my day. You have made my fucking day.
Underfoot before executing a tactical somersault and beheading 4 more with a single stroke. Gracefully, I, Kato Sicarius, carved through waves of vile metal to reach the abominable monolith, running up its walls with speed and deftness. Inside, I, Kato Sicarius, single-handedly tore through the enemy's ranks before exploding the monolith from the inside. When the smoke cleared, the Astartes around me cheered, for I, Kato Sicarius, had saved the planet of Damnos from a bleak fate.
Right.
The people thanked me, but the celebration was short-lived, for suddenly ships appeared in the skies overhead.
Oh no.
Eldar! I shouted, shaking my fist in anger. A sneak attack while we were preoccupied with the Necrons. How sneaky. But they were, of course, of no matter, for I, Kato Sicarius, struck them down as they landed, boarded their ships, and slew their crew, taking great pride in personally blowing up their ships. As I, Kato Sicarius, returned to the planet victorious, I, Kato Sicarius, saw something shocking. The ground was suddenly crawling with greenskins. Foul orcs.
This is just really... Yeah. This... I fucking hate Kato Sicarius.
I, Kato Sicarius, landed in a sea of green and immediately began carving my way through the putreficient beasts. Even their hideous machines were of no match. I, Kato Sicarius, slew them all with ease. But just as I, Kato Sicarius, approached their war boss to end the fight once and for all, I, Kato Sicarius, found myself surrounded by bodies of blue and gold. A sneak attack by the Tau! They had allied themselves with the orcs! Foul Xenos scum banding together in...
Okay. The Tau, of all the hatred I have towards the Tau, the funniest thing they have ever done is declare that the orcs are not suitable for the greater good and they need to be eradicated to serve the greater good. Even the fucking Tau, who want to bring everyone into their empire, can't stand the orcs.
Wretched cooperation! But no unholy union could possibly best the greatest of them all, and with a mighty roar, I, Kato Sicarius, laid the beasts low. The cowardly azure creatures tried to snipe me with their wicked snipers, but their blasts were pitiful and weak like them. With great ease, I, Kato Sicarius, cut them down, mocking their pathetic attempts at subterfuge and trickery. Speaking of subterfuge and trickery, before returning to Damnos, I, Kato Sicarius, landed on a dark Eldar ship. Its vile, voluptuous vixens attempted to seduce me, moaning and purring and grinding their filthy pale bodies against my armor. But it was of no use, for I, Kato Sicarius, am above such icky things, and I, Kato Sicarius, slew them all with ease. They tried their miserable sneak attacks, but my armor was far too tough for their miserable blades, and they died the miserable deaths they deserved.
Right.
After I, Kato Sicarius, destroyed the discomfiting blue and green menace, I, Kato Sicarius, returned to the city where a great celebration was held in my honor. The people declared the day of my grand victory as Kato Sicarius Day, and I, Kato Sicarius, was awarded the title Grand Lord Almighty of Damnos.
Right.
But right in the middle of the celebratory parade, with lots of floats and balloons, a great rift appeared in the sky. The chapter master said that he was going to
Oh my god, it just keeps on more. This is so Matt Ward. It's not even funny.
explore it to see what was going on, and told me and my men to come along with him. So we did, but we got too close and were sucked inside.
Ooh.
Immediately I, Kato Sicarius, knew where we were. We were inside the warp, and more importantly, we had landed in the dominion of Nurgle, the god of disease.
Right.
Unfortunately, the chapter master's hearts could not take the malputresified sights and smells of Nurgle's realm, and he suffered a heart attack and died.
Calgor is gonna fist him.
But before he did, he named me as his successor, and so
God.
I, Kato Sicarius, Master of the Watch, Knight Champion of Macragge, Grand Duke of Talisar, High Suzerain of Ultramar, and Grand Lord Almighty of Damnos, became Chapter Master of the Ultramarines. As my first order of business, I, Kato Sicarius, decided to strike deep into the heart of Nurgle's land. I, Kato Sicarius, sliced and diced my way through the rotting gardens until I, Kato Sicarius, reached the filhumorous Lord of Pestilence
Is he now gonna
himself.
kick all the Chaos God's
He
asses?
attempted to speak, but his words came out as burbles and spurts as I, Kato Sicarius, sliced into one of his many neck folds and decapitated him in a spray of blood and various other fluids. From another room, a woman entered, tall and lithe and graceful.
He's gonna
Thank
save
you, fair
Aisha.
champion, she spoke, for your brave and...
Okay, so if you guys don't know who this is, because this is a little bit of lore that some people just don't know. When Slaanesh was born, Slaanesh pretty much tore the asshole off of every single Eldar god. All of them, every single one of them was either almost every single one of them was killed. There were only 3 that really survived. One was Achegaroth, the Laughing God, who is the god of the Eldar Harlequins. And the second was Cain. and the only reason that, well, Cain kind of more or less survived. He was actually broken into fragments. The third was Aisha, and she is the Eldar goddess of life. Nurgle took her, and he's got this kind of there's this kind of weird relationship between the two. That's where some of the jokes in text speech come from. And that's where this is coming from. Nurgle keeps Aisha in prison and tests all of his plagues on her because it's not really going to hurt her.
In daring rescue of me, I, Isha, Eldar goddess of healing, pledge myself to you for all of eternity.
Right.
But I, Kato Sicarius, of course knew this was a foul Xenos trick, and I, Kato Sicarius, cleft the harlot in twain. Before me, a fiery portal appeared, and I, Kato Sicarius, entered. Immediately I, Kato Sicarius, was faced with Khorne, Chaos God of War. Of course, he was foolish enough to challenge me to single combat. I, Kato Sicarius, would admit he put up a valiant effort, but Chaos deserves no compliments, and so I, Kato Sicarius, summoned my strength into the greatest coup de grace the world has ever known, and struck him down. Next, I entered the realm of Tzeentch, Lord of Change, but he was a weakling, and I, Kato Sicarius, broke him over my knee with ease. Snap. Finally, I, Kato Sicarius, reached the most twisted
If there was one Chaos God that Kato Sicarius would ever fall to, it would be Slaanesh, because he is so fucking full of himself. He is Lucius the Eternal level full of himself.
Land of all, the realm of Slaanesh, Prince of Pleasure. Immediately I, Kato Sicarius, was beset by sweating, naked, panting bodies attempting to slow me down and force food and drink into my helmet. But I, Kato Sicarius, trudged on. The smell of sexual activity was heavy in the air, but no amount of pervosity could stop me from my goal. After hours of wading through flesh and fluids, I, Kato Sicarius, reached the palace of Slaanesh. Inside, the being gazed at me with intense desire, as though it wished to tear my armor to shreds and claim me as its prize. Finally, it spoke. "Welcome, you delicious piece of Astartes, you," it mewed. "I'll bet you're looking for a fight. Then you'll have one, you lovely little blue morsel. I challenge you to a dance-off!" It stood up and began gyrating and gesticulating in ways I'd not before seen. It thrusted and humped and slid and twirled and gallivanted until it was a sweating, panting wreck. "Okay, your turn."
What the fuck am I watching right now?
Little did it know that I, Kato Sicarius, had been trained in the arts of dance since I, Kato Sicarius, was but a babe.
Oh, shit.
I, Kato Sicarius, launched into galloping horseman style, and Slaanesh gasped loudly. From there, I, Kato Sicarius, allowed my upper body to hang loose, swaying to and fro, and Slaanesh began to tremble. For the grand finale, I executed a pirouette, followed by a backward slide, and finally gave a mighty finishing pose, tucking my face into the crook of my elbow and extending the other behind me. Before me, Slaanesh wept. "Take my life, you magnificent, prancing stallion! I cannot live after seeing such a marvelous display." And I, Kato Sicarius, did, carving its behaired head from its shoulders. With that, I, Kato Sicarius, returned to Damnos. I, Kato Sicarius, was immediately greeted by a brilliant golden image. It was the Emperor of Mankind himself. "Hello, Kato Sicarius," he spoke, his voice majestic and booming. It is I, the Emperor of Mankind!
The fuck am I watching?
I have heard of your deeds this day, and have judged you worthy of leading the Imperium in my stead. I am losing my grip on this mortal coil, and can see no more worthy successor in all the galaxy than you. Take my power, and with it lead mankind into a glorious new age. Suddenly I, Kato Sicarius, was warped to Terra, and I, Kato Sicarius, was wearing a new set of glittering golden armor. The Emperor had willingly passed on, and I, Kato Sicarius, Master of the Watch, Knight Champion of Macragge, Grand Duke of Talisar, High Suzerain of Ultramar,
Grand Lord Almighty of Damnos, and Chapter Master of the Ultramarines, became the Emperor of Mankind before returning to space once more to finish off the rest of the foul Xenos and their gods. The end! My masterpiece is complete! Now, to finish the binding...
LOL no. Your literary submission has been rejected.
I gotta watch that last part again, because that's the best part.
Now, to finish the binding...
LOL no. Your literary submission has been rejected.
Yay! Okay. I'm not nuking you this time. Yeah. Kato Sicarius. Kato Sicarius, of all the Ultramarines, of all the Ultramarines' weird antics, the worst one was when Kato Sicarius beat an Ascended Catan in a duel. If you don't know what a Catan is, it's literally the translation of its name is a star god. So he beat a deity in a duel, which makes no damned sense. He's done a lot of other really ridiculous things. His plot armor is thicker than a rhino. It's all part of the Matt Ward. Matt Ward is technically the fifth Chaos God. And if you're new to 40k and you're wondering who Matt Ward is, Matt Ward came in, and I can't remember what edition he came in on, but essentially he had a hard-on for the Ultramarines that defied description. That's why all of the in text speech, there's so Marius Caligars has so many depression issues because there's no challenge to them anymore. He basically made the Ultramarines completely overpowered in every single way. And it just got annoying for me. That's the reason I don't like the Ultramarines, is because of what they wound up being. Because one guy really liked him. And that's why we call Matt Ward the fifth Chaos God. Because he didn't just screw up that, he screwed up a couple other things. In any case, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow.